Hello world! Thanks for joining me today. We are on day number 5, and today I thought I would make some green spaghetti. It's going to be pretty delicious. So we're going to make our own sauce too. The first thing we're going to do for our sauce is get some raw unsalted cashews and soak them in hot water for 15 minutes. So the next thing you're going to do is, if you have an Instant Pot, it'll be really easy for you, but if you don't, I guess you have to cook it the old-fashioned way. But you're going to want to cook a half a cup of black-eyed peas. So this green spaghetti is packed full of nutrients with a ton of vegetables in it. So we're going to use a cup and a half of mushrooms, and then just the sliced button mushrooms, these guys right here. And then I've already chopped up a quarter of a yellow onion and then 3 cloves of garlic. We'll mince those up, and we're gonna cook those down in a stock pot. That's the first step. So we'll put the stove on medium and cook these for about 3 to 4 minutes. Add a little bit of water and stir occasionally so they don't stick to the pot. Okay, now we're going to add a cup of plant milk and a cup and a half of water into our stock pot, and then we're going to add 4 ounces of pasta, and I'm using this chickpea pasta. It's really protein rich and it tastes really good, and I really like the texture of it. So we'll pour all that in, and then we'll just bring all this to a boil and let it cook, and then we'll make our dressing for it. So it's a cashew, basil, cayenne pepper dressing. Okay, so our basil cashew sauce. We're gonna add, so we have our quarter cup of our soaked, unsalted raw cashews we have in our cup, and then it's a quarter of a cup of nutritional yeast, and then a teaspoon of basil, and then just a dash of cayenne pepper. And we also need half a cup of plant milk. And then we're just going to puree it up. So you want to just add a little bit of milk at a time. I just wanted to say real quick, NutriBullets and Instant Pots are like the handiest things for the kitchen that I have found. I mean, I use these 2 things more than anything else, and they make my life so easy. Just to have the ability to puree my own sauce, pretty incredible. And these things only cost like 20 bucks. Alright, well, disaster averted. Voila! Alright. Smells very basil-y. Alright, so next we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of frozen green peas into our pot. And it's up to the bottom. And then we're going to add in our basil sauce. I'll stir that up and let it cook for about another 6 or 7 minutes or so. And then we'll add our black-eyed peas and we'll be done. So this meal has a whopping 40 grams of protein per serving. The chickpea pasta is really the bulk of the protein in that. It's 23 grams a serving. And there's 2 servings in there. And it's got green peas, black-eyed peas, mushrooms, onions, garlic, plant milk. It's delicious, nutritious, filling, and there's enough for you to make a couple of meals out of it. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I know I will in just a minute. Well, I don't know why they call it green spaghetti, because it does not look green, or I didn't put spaghetti in here either, so it's more like a casserole looking. It's pretty good though. We just wrapped up day 5. I feel like today went really good. I'm really enjoying experimenting with the new dishes that I've been making. I've been looking at a lot of recipes lately, and I've been noticing this pattern that generally, like, really, as long as you have some kind of base like a rice or beans or pasta, and then you can just pretty much add whatever kind of vegetables you want into it and different variations of spices. And so it's been kind of a creative experience for me to kind of venture off the path of what the recipe that I'm looking at says and just kind of invent my own stuff and go along with what my taste profile is. And I'd invite you to try that as well. That's one of the things I've really been enjoying about switching to this whole foods plant-based lifestyle is the massive amount of variety in cooking, in cooking whole foods plant-based. And one of the other things I've been noticing too is a lot of the times, like during the week, I'll end up preparing meals for myself that are like several of them are the same color. Like a lot of the vegetables are yellow or orange, or I'll have dishes that are like real green, or ones with a lot of fresh fruit in it. It'll be like more bluish purpley. And I don't know if you knew this or not, but there is a direct correlation between your chakra systems and the food that you eat and the color that whatever food is that comes from the ground that's natural. Generally, whatever color that vegetable or fruit is what chakra system that it interacts with. Like say for example, you have like a yellow bell pepper, and yellow is the color of your sacral heart chakra, which has to do with your digestive system and a couple of other things. But I've noticed that when I listen to my body and pay attention to what it's craving, and like notice that it's craving a bunch of the same colored type foods that are all like, say, yellow, for example, I know that I have an imbalance in my sacral heart chakra, and that gives me the opportunity to take a look at that, to do some inward reflection and ask myself, okay, is there some kind of energy that is blocked here that is holding me back from something? And the other thing that I can do is a chakra clearing meditation, which I have a video on how to do that, a guided meditation if you look through my videos. And so I just thought that was really interesting. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is the workouts that I've been doing. So obviously this 90-day fitness journey, I have some fitness intentions that I'd like to achieve, some fitness goals that I would like to achieve. And one of the things I wanted to talk about in regards to working out is, because I've done this a lot and I've hurt myself before in the past, and I go to the gym and I see people doing it all the time, and I know it's really easy to go into the gym and like get swept up in your ego and think that you can move around more weight than is safe for you to do and be able to maintain proper form. So when you're going through your exercises, if it's getting too heavy for you and you're having to compromise your posture to complete the rep, step the weight down. And I had to do that today, and it bothered me a little bit. I mean, obviously I have like a normal lifting pattern of weights that I do with certain exercises. I know like how much I lift on every exercise that I do, every set. I keep track of all of it. So when I have to step weight down, it's either because I'm overtraining or I'm not fueling my body correctly, or I've injured myself in some way by performing the exercise incorrectly. So I have found that it is so much more beneficial, not only to your strength and your physique gains, but just like for your mental attitude, to be able to like set your ego aside and step the weight down and finish your set performing the exercise correctly. You're actually going to get a much better workout because you're isolating that muscle group more directly. You're not having to include the assistance of other muscle groups to help you muscle the weight up. And there's a sense of accomplishment that even though like you had to step the weight down a little, like you did it right, like you didn't cheat yourself. Because that's really what it boils down to. Like if you're cheating yourself on the form, you're really cheating yourself. And I think on a subconscious level, that does affect me, and I think it affects everybody in some small way, shape, or form. And it kind of goes back to, I was reading this book about it's called The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, and one of the things he talks about, one of the agreements is to always be always be honest with your word, and that means always being honest with yourself too, and not, you know, knowing what your limits are, and like push your limits, but don't cheat yourself to, you know, check a box. Because you know, I did that in my workouts for years, and I really made incredibly slow progress, and I found that like when I started slowing down and stepping the weight down and performing the exercises I was doing correctly, I built strength faster, and I got the gains that I was going after a lot faster than I did the other way. Because if you think about it, you're not, you know, time under tension with your exercises is what you're looking for. You're trying to push yourself to muscle failure, and when you're cheating in exercise, you're getting less time under tension, and you're not activating that muscle group as fully as it would have been otherwise. So just something to think about. But the journey is going good so far. I feel confident in the progress I'm making so far. I've already gained a pound, and life is good. So I hope you are enjoying joining along with me. If you enjoy the content that I'm putting out, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know whenever I have a new video coming out. I will be putting out a new video every day for the next 90 days of this challenge. And yeah, thank you so much for stopping by. Oh, also, I forgot. In the description below, there is a recipe for my green pasta dish that I made today if you're following along with me and want to try that out. I've also listed the workout that I did today, and yeah. Alright guys, I'll see you on the next video.